More to get mad about this next one. Just talking about in the break here. The Supreme Court case where a rabbi has said that his frequent flyer miles that he had accrued basically were kicked off by the airline, and he's trying to find out where his rights start and stop. And his general flyers here, guys, what are our rights? And let's start with my complaint is how can, if I go to a concert, if I go to a movie, if I buy a ticket, I know I'm going to be able to walk through the door because a certain amount of seats and they buy a ticket. Why should airlines be able to oversell, kick you off here when they can obviously see on a terminal how many seats they have? It's their problem if people don't show up. Why do I get penalized as a flyer, and why don't I have more recourse than it seems I do under the law?
You should. You should, and it is unconscionable. So what do? They've got 100 seats. They sell 150 tickets in the hope that 50 won't show up, because then they can collect the fees from the 50 that didn't show up, because they need to change their flight, and they're going to charge them, what is it now, $200 to change a flight? It is unconscionable. It is ridiculous. You buy your ticket, you pay for it, you show up at the airport, you have your seat assignment, and then you walk up and you're told, I'm sorry, you're on a waiting list.
It just feels like fraud to me. And I guess the same argument can go, Mayo, to when these guys say your frequent flyer miles, right? That they tell you if there's a merger or something else, never mind. Isn't this basic contract law? Like first year when you go to contract, you sign an agreement and both sides have to live up to the terms of it.
It is, but again, going right back to our previous conversation about Google, I mean, most of the time we don't really read the contract, because the reality is if you want to get on a plane and go to New Orleans, you either buy the ticket or you don't, or you're driving or taking a bus or a train. So it's so convenient to do it that we don't think that it's ever going to happen. And it happens to such a small percentage of people that there's really not an outcry at any given time. But if you read the contract very well may say that this can occur. So once we sign off on it, we're giving consent.
I hear once in a while they complain about the, passenger bill of rights. It doesn't really go anywhere. This screams class action to me.
Well, I was going to say, we spoke about class action before. If you take an individual and his damages, they're not very great, so he kind of sucks it up, he moves on, doesn't fly that airline anymore. You take a whole bunch of people, you put them together, and you have a class action. That's a perfect type of class action.
Give me your toll-free number.
No, but I will say, there's been such a backlash against class actions generally that, people don't, when they need it, it's not there, and that's the problem.
Yeah, but Doug, isn't there something unconscionable? Maybe just brought something very interesting up. We have no choice. So you give us an unconscionable contract. We have no choice other than to fly your airline, sign the contract, and walk.
And while you talk about that, what is unconscionable is we're out of time here for these three gentlemen and everybody here at RFL. Have a great evening. I'll see you tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Till then.